Hello everyone, welcome to Forbidden God channel. Here you will see the top best 5 player deck analysis of the weekend tournament of God Unchained occurred on March 10, 2023. If you liked the video, don't forget to add a superlative thumbs up and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to click the bell to get notified of new video release. So now, the weekend tournament of God Unchained on March 10, 2023 is now over. Let's now show you the top best 5 player and their best deck they have played on last weekend tournament of God Unchained. Today in this video we talk about two different budget deck I found under $350. So amazing, and they are ranked player number 1. So stay tuned until the end of the video. The best player number 5, Eugene Swag, ID 1867799. That number best player number 5 is ranked player number 2 for the number of win he have, so is 15 win on 18 match on last weekend tournament. The most played deck he have, like you can very see, is Control Deception. 33 win, 17 lose, 66 percentage of win rate. The cost of the deck is $616.44 USD. So now let's see the card inside of the deck. Passion Pickpocket. Creature 1/3, cost 1, flank. When deal the first damage to a front line, or a creature normally attack a front line, the flank now can attack over the front line and can attack the god right away. You have Order 3, so cannot attack or use his ability for 3 turns. After this creature order reach 0, add a copy of a random card in your opponent hand to your hand. That is a popular card when I play versus Deception because this card lets you have an opponent card and in your hand. Very useful and can be powerful and useful in the deck. Stone Skin Poison. Spell. Cost 1. Give order +3 and burn +2 to a creature. That Stone Skin Poison make a creature not usable for attack or use ability, and also give burn +2. So at the end of the turn of the person that have the creature, in the case deal 2 damage to that creature, and that goes before the regain. Armor Lurker. Creature 3/1, cost 2, Iden. So is Iden until his first attack. The Iden make him not touchable by spell, ability, or attack. And it have also armor 2. That's mean 2 damage reduction. After this creature lose Iden, so after his attack the first time, you remove 1 armor from it. The good thing is those 3 card is also popular in Deception deck because those 3 card is make useful to defend for the Stone King Poison, get a card with Passion Pickpocket, and kill a creature with 2 strength easily with Armor Lurker. Because when you attack the first time, you can kill a 2 attack 3 health without kill your Armor Lurker. And after that, you can attack 1 attack creature or more, but if you have more, it's dead. Hunting Trap. Spell. Cost 2. Deal damage to a creature equal to that creature's strength. Hunting Trap is one of his popular card used versus me as well. Is good because you deal damage equal to the strength of that creature. You target most of the time a creature with most strength, less health, same strength than health, but I don't found that it is useful with less strength than the health. But if you can kill it with a creature with dealing the damage of its strength, do it. Can be useful and powerful. Umber Arrow. Spell. Cost 2. Gain control of an enemy creature with strength or 2 or less until end turn. That is very useful card, also popular in a lot of deception deck. Is useful because you steal a creature with 2 strength or less for until the end of turn. The good news, you can attack with that creature if it's not sleeping. This what time in that case when you steal your 2 strength creature, in that case you make it attack an enemy creature and you wish you kill both creature or the creature you just control. Blade Borrower. Creature 2/1 cost 3 Echo War. When enter the battlefield, give -2 strength to an enemy creature. The Echo making another copy of itself that costs 1 and is a 1/1 that do the same thing, -2 strength to an enemy creature. The Blade Borrower is also a popular card versus the Deception I play on, and also a most Deception I look on GU deck. Why? Because that Blade Borrower reduces the strength of 2 to a 1 creature. After that, you can use Umber Arrow, very interesting. Or you can reduce the strength of a big beast monster 2 times, so you can do -4 strength for 4 mana cost. Very interesting. Bound by Will. Spell. Cost 3. Take control of an enemy creature with strength of 1 or less. I found it interesting and useful with Blade Borrower because when you reduce the strength of a creature to 1, you take control of it, and this Bound by Will take control forever. So that can be useful because you steal an enemy creature and also have biggest help for 1 strength if you reduce it to a big monster. Counterfeit. Spell. Cost 3. If your opponent has a relic equipped and you don't destroy it and, equip a copy of it, otherwise draw a card. So that card counterfeit, what it does, if your opponent have a relic, you destroy the opponent relic and get a copy of it in your hand for yourself. Very a popular card in Deception, like Bound by Will as well. So I think that deck I will say a lot of times popular because I see those cards so many times in Deception deck. And Counterfeit is really a good card versus Relic because you gain a copy of that Relic in your hand for yourself and the enemy loses it for it. Lady Marcella, first legendary inside of the deck, and this is the only one inside the deck. Creature 3/3, cost 3. When enter the battlefield, summon 2 rogue skulkers with deadly. Deadly. When you deal damage to 1 creature, that creature die. Afterlife. Summon 2 rogue skulkers with deadly for your opponent. The interesting fact with Deadly, what I like with my armor deck with War, is when I have a Deadly 1 strength, the armor reduction make the damage not done. But if it's increase the strength of the Deadly to make it 1 damage to my creature, the 1 damage will kill my creature, whatsoever if I have 5 health remaining. Liturgy Mage, creature 3/2, cost 3. When enter the battlefield, give -1 strength to each enemy creature. That is very useful and popular. That make you helpful to use Bound by Will and Umber Arrow. Very interesting. Liturgy Mage is also a popular card in Deception, like Lady Marcella. I see it in most of the top and Bridget deck as well. Inconspicuous Carriage. Creature 3/5. Cost 4. Frontline. When an enemy creature needs to attack, mandatory the front line first before attacking any other of your creature or your own god. When the inconspicuous carriage leave the battlefield and go to the void, you add a bomb to your opponent deck for each of their unused mana gem. The bomb deals 3 damage to their god when it's draw. The way to kill inconspicuous carriage is you need to use all your mana before attacking the inconspicuous carriage, and when you kill it, you need to make sure you don't have any mana unused, yes. This inconspicuous carriage is also a popular card inside of Deception. I see it several times. Cutthroat Insight. Spell. Cost 5. Target opponent reveal their hand. Also, you pull one of their card into your hand. So the Cutthroat Insight, what it does, you look the opponent hand and you steal one card from their hand. For 5 mana, can be useful and can change the game. Double Dealer. Creature. 2/1. Cost 6 mana. When enter the battlefield, you draw 2 cards. 2 random cards in your opponent are shuffled into their deck. That can be interesting because at 6 mana cost and when the opponent have 2 cards or less, that is powerful because you draw 2 cards and the opponent lose their 2 cards in their hand and put it back in their deck. Interesting. I found it interesting and powerful. Very something to protect yourself. Rapture Dance. Spell. Cost 6. Deal damage to each enemy creature equal to the number of enemy creature on the board. Rapture Dance is also a popular card to defend themselves in a lot of Deception deck because when the enemy have 6 creature on the board, you just deal 6 damage to all of the 6. Water Finger. Creature. 8/6. Cost 7. When enter the battlefield, the 3 strongest enemy creature gain burn +2 and also go to sleep. That's my favorite card for Deception deck because Waterfinger make 3 strongest enemy creature in sleeping and also burn +2 on them. Let's make 2 damage at the end of their turn before the regain. But the most interesting fact to defend yourself, you make them sleep so you can do the finishing move on them. Blade of White Plane. Creature. 3/3. Cost 5. Once per turn. After a weaker enemy creature is destroyed, you draw a card. When enter the battlefield, you destroy an enemy creature with strength or 3 or less. Blade of White Plane is the most popular card in neutral card. I see it in most of different god deck, like Deception, War, Nature. A lot of players like to play that deck in top player or budget deck as well. It's very useful and powerful because you draw a second card when you play it because you target the weaker enemy creature and you draw your extra card. Gale Enforcer. Creature. 3/5. Cost 5. Frontline. When the enemy god needs to attack yourself, is mandatory to attack the frontline first before attacking any of your creature or yourself. Armor 1. Make a damage reduction of 1. Gale Enforcer is one of my favorite frontline for some of my nature deck, war deck, and most of the deck I play. But for the moment, it's good for my war deck because I play Frenzy and some more Enrage to get to get one strength and one damage, so it's reducing run damage reduction. But also use it for with Slayer with the frenzy creature I have. Alien Elites creature 10/12 cost 8 frontline. That's the most powerful frontline that costs 8 mana in all God Unchained because that frontline is 10/12. Also get protected. That's mean the first damage done on that creature is revoked. That's the first card that I figured out that I've protected and got Unchained. That's my first big beast frontline I got. And that frontline is so good to defend yourself because at the end of the turn, when you have 8 mana and you play your Alien Elites, my god, I think the enemy doesn't have a lot of creature to defend itself. If you do a Rapture Dance to destroy the board, the Control Deception deck have 50 match, 66% of win rate, the overall have 58 match and is 65.5% of win rate. So that's the end of the best player number 5, ranked player number 2 of last weekend tournament. So now let's speak about the best player number 4. Best player number 4. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Like you can see on GU deck, when you look on the player ranked, his name is OCTO Lenistar. Number best player number 4. Ranked player number 2 because he have 15 match won on last weekend tournament. The most played deck, like you can see, is Control War. 79 win, 42 lose, 65.3% of win rate. The cost of the deck is $3,020 and 41 cent USD. Let's see what we have inside of the deck. Savage Strike. Spell. Cost 1. Deal 1 damage to each creature. And power 2. Click at the top right corner of the card and pay 2 more mana. Then deal 2 damage to an enemy creature. That spell is popular in a lot of top best budget deck this year because when you pay 3 mana, you can deal 3 damage to one creature and also 1 damage to each other creature, including yours. Wolf card, creature, 3/1, cost 2, blitz, and power 2. Click at the top right corner of the card and pay 2 more mana. Give Twin Strike and plus 2 strength to this creature. So Blitz, you can attack an enemy creature right away. When you click the top right corner of the card and pay 2 more mana, you give Twin Strike, so you can attack 2 creature or 1 creature 2 times, and also 2 help. So for 4 mana, you cast a 3/3 creature with Blitz and Twin Strike. Very popular and also powerful for a war deck because it's blitz and can attack 2 different creatures. Woodcutter Imps creature 3/3 cost 2. The most popular card inside of Winter Wonderland extension set of inside of war deck is the most used inside of the top best player because that creature 3/3 is God Blitz, can attack the enemy god right away, or an enemy creature. After this creature attack, your god take damage equal to the damage dealt. That creature costs only 2 mana and can be very useful because it's attacking the enemy god right away. And is also popular in a lot of top best budget deck, top best player deck, not budget deck, because Woodcutter Imp costs a lot of money. And End to War. Spell. Cost 3. Pick one. Remove Protected and Warn from a creature, then deal 2 damage to it. Or obliterate a damaged creature. if you have 5 or more creatures in your board, you do both. So, an end to war is very powerful when you have 5 or more creatures in your board, or when you have a big beast and you want to remove it from the game. You deal minimum of 1 damage on that big beast, and you can remove it from the game. But if you have 5 or more creatures in your void, you pay only 3 mana. You can remove protected and ward from that creature and deal 2 damage to it, and after that, remove it from the game. That card can change a lot of game changing. That card is a game changing. Can change a lot of situation. Devouring Blade, Relic, 4 attack, 1 durability, cost 4. God Blitz, can attack the enemy god or the enemy creature right away when enter the battlefield. Afterlife, when go to the void, destroy a random creature. The random creature can be your own creature, so you need to be careful when you play Devouring Blade. Grand All, first legendary inside the deck. Structure 2/5, cost 4. Frontline, the enemy god needs to attack the frontline first before attacking any other creature or your own god. The structure this one cannot attack, but when into the battlefield, you give 1 strength and leech to each other friendly creature. That is interesting and powerful for 1 strength to all of your creature, but also give leech. That means the creature with leech, damage done by that creature, you gain also that number of damage in health. That is useful to regain health. Magic Missile Launcher, Relic, 3 attack, 2 durability, cost 4. Blitz, can attack the enemy creature right away. Afterlife, deal 2 damage to 2 random creature, so you can deal 2 damage to 2 random creature including yours. After that, you heal your god for 4. Very powerful and useful. White Fur Guard, creature, 5/4. Cost 4, Frontline, and Power 1. Cost 1 mana more when you click the top right corner of the card. This creature gain protected. That's mean for 5 mana you have a frontline that have protected. The first damage done on that creature is revoked. Carnage Sweep. Spell, cost 5, deal 2 damage to all creature, and if you have a relic equipped, remove 3 durability and destroy all creature instead. Carnage Sweep is a good combination when you have 6 mana to play with Leviathan Hunter, the neutral card over here, that is a creature 2/1 that costs 1 mana, and when it's entered the battlefield, you equip a 1 attack, 1 durability Barbed Hook. Don't care about the control Viking to have 1 durability 1 attack, 2 durability Barbed Hook instead. Because when you summon your relic, you do counter sweep and you wipe the board. Soul Survivor. Spell. Cost 6. Give +3 strength to one of your creature, then deal its strength as damage to each other creature. Soul Survivor is very useful when you have 1 creature remaining on the field or when you need to kill a big beast front line and you have a 1 creature that you need to boost and finally do the final hit to the enemy god. So you boost that creature, kill that creature, and finish the enemy god. Soul Survivor is really useful and can change the game. Avatar of War, Sigan Legendary inside the deck. Creature, 8/8, cost 8. Leech. All damage done from that creature with Leech is returned in health as well. When enter the battlefield, equip a 5 attack, 2 durability, Sentient Flame Blades with God Blitz, can attack an enemy god right away or an enemy creature right away. And after you attack, you heal your god for 5. Very powerful and interesting for a second legendary card inside of the deck. For a war deck, Avatar 4 is popular inside of the top best player for an expensive card deck. Anagreus Demon Prince, third legendary inside of the deck. Creature 12/7, costs 9 mana. God Blitz can attack the enemy god right away or the enemy creature right away. After this creature destroys another creature, you remove it from the game. When enter the battlefield, deal 6 damage to each enemy creature. That creature can wipe the board and also remove them from the game, so cannot return back on the field with a lot of card. In neutral side card we have Leviathan, like I mentioned to you, Pyramid Warden, expensive but very popular card inside of the top best player deck for frontline because it's a 2/6 to cost 2 mana for a frontline. The only bad side effect is the afterlife, is your opponent summon a random creature from the void, but, but for a frontline that costs 2 mana, a 6 elf is so helpful. Martyr of White Plain, creature 2/2, cost 3, frontline. While this creature is in your void, after a friendly creature die, pull it to your hand and summon this creature with Soulless. Martyr of White Plain is your frontline. That means the enemy god needs to attack the frontline first before attacking any instead of any other of your creature or your own god. But when a white plane die, when another friendly creature die, the friendly creature return to your end, and the martyr of white plane return on the board with Soulless. Next time she die, she removed from the game. Blade of White Plane, creature 3/3, cost 5. Once per turn, after a weaker enemy creature is destroyed, draw a card. When enter the battlefield, you destroy an enemy creature with strength or 3 or less. Be smart. When you want to draw the second card when cast that card, make sure you destroy the weaker enemy creature and you will draw the second card. The last 2 cards inside of those decks is the 2 most expensive card inside of God Unchained, and I think is one of the 2 most popular card inside of the God Unchained. So we have Demo Gorgon, a creature for 6 that costs 7. That is Leech. The damage done by that creature is returned in health as well after the damage. At the end of your turn, you deal 3 damage to a random sleeping enemy creature, and when into the battlefield, all other creatures go to sleep. That is a very useful card. Teriel the Fallen, creature 6/9, cost 7. When enter the battlefield, you dwell 3 Theoric cultists. Dwells, that means you select between 3 different Theoric cultists with 3 different ability. One, you select one between 3 Theoric cultists with 3 different ability 3 times like this. Powerful and useful. The Demogorgon Imperial Fallen is unmintable anymore, and they're the most expensive card inside of God Unchained. The creator have played with the Power Slayer that deal 2 damage to your opponent god and cost 2 mana. That is the most popular power used in war deck. The creator have 121 match, 65.3% of win rate. The overall have 140 match and 62.9% of win rate. So now that's the end of the best player number 4, ranked player number 2. So now let's see the best player number 3. Top best player number 3, 8 million clutch. Ranked player number 1, because the number best player number 1 have also 16 win match on 18 match on last weekend tournament. So 8 million clutch is also ranked player number 1. Nice. First time this year. Now, the most played deck of that 8 million clutch, if I look correctly, is Control War. 131 win, 28 lose, 82.4 percentage of win rate. The cost of the deck is also an expensive expensive deck, $3,045.75 USD. Let's see what we have inside of this war deck of clutch. Savage Strike. Spell. Cost 1. Deal 1 damage to each creature, and power 2, then deal 2 damage to an enemy creature. When you click at the top right corner of the card and pay 2 mana, you can deal 3 damage to one creature and 1 damage to all other creatures, including yours. Like you can see, Savage Strike is popular in top best player. Wolf Card Vanguard. Creature 3/1. Cost 2. Blitz can attack the enemy creature right away. Empire 2. Click at the top right corner of the card and pay 2 mana. Give Twin Strike and plus 2 health to this creature. So for 4 mana, you got a 3/3 Blitz and Twin Strike. Can attack 2 different creatures right away or 1 creature 2 times. And like you can see, Wolf Cult Vanguard is also popular inside of the best budget in the side of the best player. Woodcutter Imp. First Winter Wonderland inside the deck. The most and powerful popular card inside of the most war deck top best player as well. Because it's a creature 3/3 costs only 2 mana. A half god blitz can attack the enemy god right away or attacking an enemy creature right away. After this creature attack, your god take damage equal to the damage dealt. And then to war. Spell. Cost 3. Pick one. Remove protected and ward from a creature, then deal 2 damage to it. Or obliterate the damaged creature. If you have 5 or more creatures in your void, you do both. So for 3 mana, if you have 5 or more creatures in your void, you can destroy a big piece easily, whatsoever if you don't have protected or ward, because you remove protected and ward. But the most interesting fact is you deal 2 damage to it. If you have a protected and ward, you want to kill it. Make sure you have 5 or more creatures in your board, and you can remove it from the game after dealing 2 damage to it. Devouring Blade. Relic. 4 attack, 1 durability. Cost 4. God Blitz. Can attack the enemy god right away, or can attack the enemy creature right away. Afterlife. When go to the board, you destroy a random creature. Be careful, can be one of your own creature as well. Grand All, first legendary inside stack. Structure, 2 attack, 5 health. Cost 4. Frontline. The enemy god needs to attack the frontline first, before attacking any other of your creature or your own god. This structure cannot attack, but the most interesting fact is when enter the battlefield, it gives one strength and also leech to each other of your friendly creature. So with that card, you gain leech to all of your creature. So all creature with leech deal damage, and you get that damage in health as well. Very powerful and useful to regain health. Magic Missile Launcher. Relic. 3 attack, 2 durability. Cost 4. Blitz. Can attack the enemy creature right away. Afterlife. Deal 2 damage to 2 random creature. So be careful. Can be your own creature. And also heal your god for 4. Very interesting to regain health. And also deal 3 damage to a creature when enter the battlefield. White Fur Guard. Creature 5/4. Cost 4. Frontline. When enter the battlefield, frontline. The enemy god needs to attack the frontline first before attacking any other of your creature or your own god. Empower 1. When you click at top right corner of the card and pay 1 mana more, this creature gain protected. That's mean the first damage done on that creature is revoked. Very powerful and popular in a lot of budget deck and also interesting in a lot of top best player because that is a front line that gain protected for 5 mana cost and also have 5 strength. Carnage Sweep. Spell. Cost 5. Deal 2 damage to all creature. If you have a relic equipped, remove 3 durability and destroy all creature instead. Like you can see, Connor Shui become popular and very useful in a lot of war deck. In combination with this one, I've also the neutral card Leviathan Hunter, a creature 2/1 that costs 1 mana, and when into the battlefield, you equip 1 attack, 1 durability barbed hook. If you control another Viking, you equip a 1 attack, 2 durability barbed hook instead. You don't care about the Viking control for that case, because you want to have a relic to use counter sweep with 6 mana totals. Very powerful. The other card that is very popular in War deck I use as well is Soul Survivor. Spell. Cost 6. Give 3 strength to one of your creature, then deal also its strength as the mage to each other creature. So when you have a big front line that you want to destroy and you have a creature on the field, you use that to wipe the board or kill the front line and deal the final strike. What you can do as well is if you have one creature remaining and they have like more creature on the board, you can wipe the board as well. But be careful. It's really hard to use Soul Survivor on a creature after you cast that creature because you need like a 1 mana and 7 mana turn or maybe 2 mana for 8 mana turn. So very hard. Avatar of War. Creature 8/8. Cost 8. Leech. When that creature deals damage, you gain that damage in health because of Leech. When enter the battlefield, you equip 5 attack, 2 durability sentient flame blades with god blades can attack the enemy god or an enemy creature right away, and after you attack, you heal your god for 5. The Avatar of War is the second legendary inside of the deck, and is the most popular card for the best player top best player of God Unchained. Now is the end of the war card inside the deck. Now let's see the neutral card. Leviathan Hunter, like I mentioned to you earlier. We have Pyramid Warden as well, also popular in most of the best player deck. Creature 2/6 that costs only 2 mana. is a frontline. Afterlife, when you go to the void, your opponent summon a random creature from the void. Not fun for the side effect of Afterlife, but very useful for a cost 2 mana and 6 elf for the frontline. Martyr of White Plane and Blade of White Plane in this deck is also potent, potent and is also a most popular card in best player deck because Martyr of White Plane is a front line, and when it's in the void and you have a friendly creature die after, the friendly creature returns to your end, and that Martyr of White Plane return to the board and remove from the game after the next time she's dead. Blade of White Plane is also popular for a creature that is a 3/3 that costs 5 mana, and once per turn after a weaker enemy creature is destroyed, you draw a card, and when to the battlefield, you destroy an enemy creature's strength with strength of 3 or less. That is useful because you can draw a second card the first time you summon that card. They also have the most two expensive card and unmintable card of Unchained anymore, the Morgargan and Teriel the Fallen, the third legendary inside of the deck for Teriel the Fallen, and the last card. So the Morgargan is a creature 5/6, cost 7, leech. At the end of your turn, deal 3 damage to a random sleeping enemy creature, and when enter the battlefield, all other creatures go to sleep. Very interesting and powerful. Teriel the Fallen is a 6/9 that costs 7. When enter the battlefield, you dwell 3 Theuric Cultists. That means dwells. You select one time between 3 different Turek cultists with 3 different ability, and when it's 12/3, you do that 3 times. The creator have 159 match, 82.4 percentage of win rate, very higher than the other guy. The overall of that deck is higher, most higher than the other guy. Is 1,250 match and is 61.1 percentage of win rates. That's very interesting and powerful. That's interesting for clutch player number 3, ranked player number 1. So now let's see the top best player number 2, also ranked player number 1. Top best player number 2, LC. Number 2, ranked player number 1 as well. Like you can see, you have win also 16 match on last weekend tournament. Now let's see which best deck you have played most of the time. So no light, death not a lot, nature, war, deception, more deception, but the most played deck is Clone Magic. 73 win, 52 lose, 58.4 percentage of win rate. The cost of the deck is, for myself, in my opinion, is one of the budget deck I mentioned to you in the beginning of the video because it's not costing 500, it's costing $214.99 USD. Let's see what we have inside of that Clone Magic deck. Dimension Door. Spell. Cost 1. Draw a card and reduce its mana cost by 1 if its cost less than your unlocked mana gem. Interesting and powerful because, like you can see, the most card you have inside of that deck is 1 mana cost. So you're sure you have enough mana cost and cost 0 mana. 100% sure. Next card. Flying Carpet. Creature. 3/1. Cost only 1. When enter the battlefield, you pick 1. This creature can ward, so the first ability spell is Conceal is revoke for the first time, or you foresee one card. That means you see the first card at the top of your deck and you click on it to put it at the bottom, or you don't select it to keep it at the top of the deck. It casts Enchantress. Creature 1/2. Cost 1. When enter the battlefield, you foresee 2 cards. That means you take the top 2 cards of your deck and you click on one of them or both of them to put it at the bottom of the deck. If you don't select them or you select one of them, you have the one you don't select it at the top of the card of the deck. Levitate. Spell. Cost 1. Remove frontline and backline from a target creature and you draw a card. That is useful and powerful because when you have a frontline in front of you, you want to attack the enemy elf, you remove frontline. Or if you have a backline creature that you want to kill for sure, you remove backline and you put it in front of the deck of the creature and you kill it. But the most interesting fact for that card is you draw a card as well. Lost in the Depth. Spell. Cost 1. Target creature. Obliterate card in your deck with the same cost as that creature and draw a card. That interesting fact, because you have 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, and 4 mana, you can remove the 5, 6, 7 mana cost of the creature deck, or remove the 4 mana or 3 mana, you don't care about them, because you remove from the game in your deck with the same cost as that creature. So if you select like a 5 cost, 6 cost, or 7 or more mana cost, you just lose nothing from your deck and you just remove from the game the big beast. That can be useful. Reject Dogma. Spell. Cost 1. Draw a card. Empower 1. Click at the top right corner of the card and pay 1 mana more. You deal 2 damage and remove a card in your hand. That can be useful. You draw a card, you deal also 2 damage for 2 mana, and you remove a card in your hand from the game. Can be useful. Scene Stone. A card from the Sanctum that you can select them when you have enough favor. That Scene Stone costs 1 mana, you foresee 1, and you draw a card. That's mean you look at the top of the deck, 1 card, and you click on it to down draw it and draw a new card, or you don't click on it and you draw that card. Shadow Scryer. Creature 1/1. Cost 1. Protected. The first damage done on that creature is revoked. Ward. The first spell or ability is revoked. At the start of your turn, you foresee 1. That Shadow Scryer, at the start of your turn, you look at the top right card in your deck and you say, did I want it? Yes. Don't select it. Did I don't want it? No. Select it. And after that, you draw a card. I think so. Or you draw a card before. It's one of the two choice. I think the start of your turn is before you draw a card. Spell Sight Seer. Creature. 2/2. Cost 1. When into the battlefield, you foresee 1. You look at the top of the card, one card at the top, and you click on it to put it at the bottom, or you don't click on it to let it at the top of the deck. Clone. That spell is so useful. I will tell you why. Because Clone is a spell that costs only 2 mana. You copy the lowest cost creature in your hand. So you copy just one of your lowest costs in your hand. So most of the creature you have is lowest cost. That's interesting. You copy one of them. It's useful. Stormfield. Spell. Cost 2. Give spell boost +1 to each friendly creature. That's powerful because spell boost 1, meaning gain +1 damage more on the spell. For each spell boost, you gain 1 damage more for each creature on the field that have 1 spell boost. That is awesome and powerful. Warp Engineer. Creature. 1/3. Cost 2. When enter the battlefield, choose a card that costs no more than your total unlocked mana gem. Reduce its cost by 2. Interesting. You choose a card that costs no more than your total unlocked mana cost and you reduce its cost by 2. Powerful. Form of Unity. Spell. Cost 3. Deal 1 damage to a character for each of your creatures on the board. If you control 5 or more creatures, you deal 9 damage instead. So, form of unity, you deal, let's say you have 6 creatures on the field. You deal 9 damage, but before that, you put Stormfield. So in that case, you put spell boost +1 to the 6th creature. So in case you do 9 damage plus 6 damage. So you do 15 damage. That is powerful. Portal Wrangler. Creature. 3/4. Cost 4. When enter the battlefield, add a copy of the last creature play to your hand. That can be an enemy creature as well, because if the enemy turn finish or you play a creature, if you play that creature after, you just get an enemy creature in your hand. In the neutral side, we have Backstreet Buncer, creature, 1/1, cost 1, afterlife, add a random rune to your end. That can be interesting. Rune of Mud is more interesting because it's add a rune each end of turn. But this one is when this creature die, you have a rune in your hand. Vanguard Axe Woman, creature, 2/2, cost 1, Blitz, can attack a creature right away. And the power is Clear Mind for C2. See the top 2 card of your deck and select if you put it in your bottom or you don't select it and keep in the top. Cost 1 mana. What I can tell you for that budget deck for Magic, that one is the most difficult card game to play because you want to have a lot of creature on the field to put Form of Unity to deal 9 damage for sure. But the only thing is you want to put Stormfield. What I think in my head, I don't understand why you have put one Stormfield in the deck because the spell boost is too important in this deck because the form of unity deal 9 damage if you have a lot of creature. If you have 2 Stormfield, you can have spell boost +2 on each creature. So that means you can put +12 damage to +9. So that means you can deal 21 damage with the form of unity. You do 2 times form of unity and you just kill the guy. So I'm just curious why I didn't put 2 Stormfield. I'm just curious why I didn't put some spell boost creature. But the deck seems hard to play. The creator have 125 match, 58.4% of win rate. The overall is 259 match and is 59.1 percentage of win rate, so it's not that bad for a difficult art game deck of Magic. Now let's see the top best player ranked number one and number one in GU deck player ranked. Top best player number one, Jira89. That player is ranked player number one. 16 match on last weekend tournament. So this player, like you can see, I've played only War deck and he play only one deck at the moment. Frenzied Aggro War. 107 win, 51 lose, 67.7 percentage of win rate. The cost of the deck, like you can see, is not that expensive as well. It's under $500, under $400, near the $360, but the cost at the moment is $354.42 USD. Let's see what we have in that spectacular deck of War Frenzy Aggro. Skulkin Valkyrie. Creature 1/3. Cost 1. After this creature take the mage, a random friendly creature gain 1 strength. Skulkin Valkyrie is one of the popular cards in the Viking deck for Butchak deck as well since this year. Trial Spirit. Creature 2/2. Cost 1. When enter the battlefield, give 1 L to a friendly creature. Vicious Rend. Spell. Cost 1. Deal 3 damage to a damaged character. Vicious Rend, for me, is one of the most useful cards in War deck to do a finishing move, because when the enemy god have 3 or less health remaining, you do a Vicious Rend in his face and you just finish the game. Master Tactician. Creature 2/2. Cost 2. Protected. The first damage done on that creature is revoked. When into the battlefield, all other friendly creatures gain flank until end turn. That is very powerful, because Master Tactician enter the battlefield, make all other friendly creatures flanking. After that, if you have a front line on the enemy side or more, Master Tactician or one creature attack in front line, all other creatures attack the enemy god right away without thinking to attack the front line because they're flank. You need to have one creature attack the front line to make the flank pass through the front line, over the front line, and go to the enemy god. Protected, the first damage done on him is revoked. Master Tactician is one of the most popular cards as well in my Viking budget deck this beginning of this year. Valkas Captain. Creature 3/2. Cost 2. When enter the battlefield, equip a 1 attack, 1 durability barbed hook. If you're frenzy, so you have dealt the first damage to the enemy god, in a case you become frenzy, give that relic plus 1 strength. So that means you use the power of Slayer, you pay 2 mana, you deal 2 damage to the enemy god, and you become frenzy, and you put Valkak's Captain. Or you have a creature on the board, you attack the enemy god, and you have frenzy right away after. Valkak's Captain is also popular inside of the Viking deck I mentioned this year. Warmonger Smith. Creature 2/4. Cost 2. When enter the battlefield, give your relic plus 1 strength for its next attack. Warmonger Smith was a popular card inside of Viking deck as well, or some war deck in this year, because it gives 1 strength to the next attack of the relic. Woodcutter Imp. First Winter Wonderland in Savage deck. One of these most expensive Winter Wonderland creature 3/3 costs 2 mana. God Blitz can attack the enemy god or the enemy creature. After this creature attack, your god take damage equal to the damage dealt. That is really a powerful card because it costs only 2 mana and you can attack the enemy god when enter the battlefield or attack an enemy creature right away. You have put 2 inside of the deck. That's why that's increased the price of the budget deck. Blade of Sticks, Relic, 3/2, cost 3 mana. God Blitz can attack the enemy god right away or the enemy creature right away. Very powerful with Warmonger Smith because instead of deal 3 damage, you deal 4 damage. First legendary in Sav's deck, Commander Pyro, creature 3/3, cost 3. After a friendly creature survives damage, give it +1/+1. Commander Pyro is also a good combo with the power of Enrage that costs 1 mana or 2 mana, I don't remember, but deal 1 damage to the creature and gain 1 strength. Because of the 1 damage, if the creature survive, you give +1/+1 with the Commander Pyros. So it's like you have put +2 strength and 1 health and 1 damage. Another round. Spell. Cost 4. Give a friendly creature +3/+3. And at the end of your turn, if you are frenzy, give a random creature in your hand +1/+1. That is my popular card inside of a lot of war deck I have because it boosts a creature of +3/+3, but also when you're frenzy, it boosts a creature in your hand of +1/+1. Cunning Challenger, creature 4/4, cost 4, tempt fate. You select to have one ability or one thing to be done, or you sacrifice that ability and gambling it to have two ability. If you succeed, you have both ability. If you fail, you lose the both ability. But the most interesting fact with Cunning Challenger, you can always tempt fate at the start of your turn all the time on him. And that's my popular card inside the Viking deck of War deck this year, also for budget deck or my own deck. White Fur Guard, creature 5/4, cost 4, frontline, empower 1. Click at the top right corner of the card and pay 1 mana more. This creature gain protected. That's mean when you pay 5 mana, you have a frontline that have protected. The first damage done on that creature is revoke. Frontline. The enemy god needs to attack the frontline first before attacking any of your creature or your own god. For a 5 attack 4 health, this is very interesting because if it survives damage, you can deal a lot of damage. Second and last legendary inside the deck. For Sigan Winter Wonderland inside of the deck. And Slate Master Volcas. That's my favorite card inside of Winter Wonderland for War deck because it's a creature 6/5 that costs 5 mana. Have Overkill. That's mean the over damage is randomly split around enemy creature or enemy god. The other facts I find interesting is when it's entered the battlefield, if you have one card or less in your hand, the creature Slade Master Volca become Blitz. That means can attack an enemy creature right away. With the overkill is so useful. In the neutral side, We have Vanguard Axewoman, creature, 2/2, costs 1 mana, Blitz. An enemy creature can attack an enemy creature right away when enter the battlefield. Pyramid Warden, creature, 2/6, cost 2, frontline, afterlife. Your opponent summon a random creature from their void. Pyramid Warden is one of the most popular frontline in a lot of decks this year, I figured out. But now, about the 14th of March 2023, Pyramid Warden is more than $100 USD now. That's why the decks start to become expensive. I suggest you to change some card that costs a lot of money to reduce the price. So Pyramid Warden, you can change it. Commando Pyro, you can maybe change or figure out another creature that can deal something else. Or Slaymaster Valka. So you can change those three cards that I think is very expensive. You need to change them. Commando Pyro, I think you can have a creature that deal 1 damage to all creature and gain 1 strength. That can be interesting to put it there. But you have other creatures, so I will think about it and return back to you about that. Return back to you about that on my stream of Twitch with Gblade 514 on my deck called War Fight. Feral Shapeshifter, creature, 4/4, cost 4, Island for 1 turn. So that means for 1 turn is Island, so cannot be targeted by spell, ability, or attack. When enter the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to the enemy creature you wanted to do. So the creator have 158 match, 67.7% of win rate, but the overall have 226 match and is 64.4% of win rate. So that is very powerful for a deck created by itself, Chera 89. So that's the end of the top best player number 1, ranked player number 1 also. So now let's go with a little conclusion. Thank you for watching Forbidden God channel. I wish you have figured out and learned a lot of different cards that you can use in the top best player deck if you have it for free when you play God Unchained and mint it with the core card pack you can get. So if you have liked the video and you want to support me, don't forget to add a supportive thumbs up and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also don't forget to click the bell to get notified of new video release. The weekend tournament of God Unchained is now finished, March 10, 2023. So now, thank you for watching the top best 5 player of the last weekend tournament of God Unchained on Forbidden God channel. I wish you have a wonderful day, wonderful evening, and wish you best luck on the next weekend tournament. And see you on the next video for the 5 printed deck of this week.